I'm Sandy Pelletier. I think I introduced myself a little earlier. And Bill and I are some of the state's historians at this point in our careers, particularly in the field of developmental disabilities. Bill and I met in the late 70s. I was coming out of graduate school and Bill was here in Nashua. And there were 4 service coordinators in the state, or 4 case managers. This is before there was even an area agency or a developmental service system here in our state. There were only 4 case managers, and our job was to bring people out of Laconia State School back to our home communities.
I was at 5 years old. 30 years is a long time, that's enough for me. 30 years is too long, right? State school, they don't treat you good. You can't go downtown, they cook it like a jail. You know what I mean? You have to be out in the line, you have to be lined up like a prison. You boys stay in line now. We all had to walk together in line. I'm glad I'm out of there. Yeah. I was clapping my hands. Ooh, I was glad. I had a big smile at that time. Everybody's out there. The place is closed now. I heard on TV they're going to close the state school. Oh, yeah, they're going to finally close that. Well, hallelujah. Hey, that house tonight, I do what I want now. Oh, yeah, I'll get my own place. Feel good. I'm all set right now. Now we kick me soccer, so I'm all set.
The individuals that came from Laconia were the true pioneers, because the expectations for those individuals there was no expectation. People believed that they belonged in institutions and that they could not lead a life like we lead. And those consumers that came back early on really taught all of us. It was eye-opening that with the right kinds of supports, that they could live a quality life in the community, and varying levels of independence, obviously.
I said it was a movement. It was a movement. It was very similar to like civil rights movement, and it was that serious. To me, it was, and still is. I went to visit a Sauhegan workshop, and it was a small sheltered workshop in the Milford area, and they were nice folks, and there was a woman that was sitting there with a typewriter, and she was typing away, and the person, I said, "Oh, what is she typing?" She says, "Oh, nothing really, she's just staying active." So I went over and looked at what she was typing, and she looked at me, and it said, "I am not mentally retarded," on that thing, and that changed my life from that point on. And I went to the staff and I said, she's typing something. She wants to communicate. And that person ended up having all kinds of technology later on, and speaking stuff, and it was amazing. She could have a regular conversation with you because she could type, and it was slow in the beginning, but then it was that, and I said, we're not paying attention here. We don't see what that person has. That person is living in a body that just doesn't function like ours.
We started to look at it as, how do we build a system? Probably the early 90s was when we started closing sheltered facilities and moving away from group home settings. And now we're moving much more to what we call a person-centered service system, where it really is more individualized, and we really work with the individual to define what supports they need or their family needs. And it's really driven by that. We know individuals that have gone to the community college. People are getting really great job opportunities presented to them, and living independently.
And this agency was not afraid to try all those new things. People would say, "Oh, that's not going to work." Oh God! Well, let's see how it goes, right?
I think what motivates the staff here in a lot of ways is, and we use this, we want to make sure that we bring the best practices forward. If this was your son, daughter, mother, father, you would want the agency to offer some of the best resources possible.
Well, my name is Beth Raymond, and I had the pleasure of working here at Gateways Community Services for over 30 years as a senior manager. We moved into this building in 1997, 144 Canal Street. prior to that, we were in Merrimack renting office space. And the staff had grown, and we were overcrowded. So Sandy Pelletier came to me and said, can you find us a new office building, something that will be bigger? The first thing that attracted me to the building was its history. This building was built in the 1880s, and it was built as mill worker housing for the employees of the Jackson Mill, and the old Jackson Mill was actually across the street from Canal Street from this building. The board of directors took a leap of faith, and they said, go for it. So we bought the building, and it's been a really, really good choice. It was a good choice on our part. Many reasons it was a good choice, but two in particular. One was that for our constituents, the people who get services from us, many people live downtown and they could walk to us now, or could take public transport, could take a bus to get to us. So the accessibility for the community was wonderful. The most impactful things that we started back then was participant managed and directed services. That started in the late 1990s in Keene. They called self-determination, kind of a big name. And the pilot was so successful that the state of New Hampshire decided to allow all area agency to deliver services in a more consumer-directed and consumer-controlled manner.
I mean, Gateways now touches, as I mentioned, 3,000 lives. We now not only support little ones with early intervention, but we have a program for individuals, children with autism. We also provide services and supports and coordinate services and supports to many, many young people as well as adults with developmental disabilities. And over the years, we got into elder service as well, because we believe that even for elders, if they are challenged by a disability, that with some level of support by an organization like ours, they can continue to live a quality life in their community. So a lot of the things that we learned along the way, we continue to move forward and hope that it does make, and we do believe it makes a difference.